Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're looking into a really intense period in Siddhartha Gautama's life.
Yeah, his time practicing extreme asceticism. Self-mortification, really.
Exactly. We're drawing on insights from excerpts in Siddhartha's Asceticism, The Path to the Middle Way. It helps frame this, challenging phase. And our goal here is to try and understand why. Why go down that road? What did it actually, look like?
And why he eventually stopped, crucially.
Right. And how that whole incredibly tough experience was, absolutely essential for him finding what we now call the middle way.
It's quite a journey. We want to approach it with, respect for the sheer effort involved, the suffering.
Definitely. So, the sources suggest that after years studying with different masters, Siddhartha kind of makes this sharp turn.
A really dramatic shift.
He seems to decide that real liberation, freedom from suffering, wasn't in those teachings he learned. It was somewhere else.
He came to believe it lay in completely suppressing the body, all its desires, its needs.
What triggers such a radical idea? Why go from learning to just pure denial?
Well, it sounds like he essentially hit a wall. The conventional methods, the teachers, they took him far, but not all the way.
Not to the ultimate answer he sought.
Right. And he started to see the body itself, with all its cravings and needs, as the root cause of suffering, the main obstacle.
And this idea of extreme self-discipline, asceticism, wasn't totally unique to him, was it?
No, not at all. These kinds of practices existed in various forms across different traditions back then. It speaks to a kind of a recurring human impulse, maybe?
The idea that you conquer yourself through discipline.
Exactly. Rigorous self-discipline, denying yourself indulgence, usually for some kind of spiritual goal.
And self-mortification is pushing that way further, right? Like intentionally causing hardship.
Precisely. It's taking that discipline to an extreme. The core belief being, if you conquer the physical body, you purify the mind. You transcend the mundane.
So the logic is, the body traps you, so weaken the prison to free the spirit. Sounds compelling on the surface, I guess.
It does, in a way. Physical suffering could theoretically lead to spiritual clarity. Break those chains of craving.
And the sources emphasize he didn't just dabble in this, he went all in.
Oh, completely. Absolute determination. He apparently pushed himself much further than even other ascetics practicing at the time.
This was pure, relentless discipline, truth-seeking, no matter the cost to his body.
Absolutely. Comfort was totally off the table. It was seen as an impediment.
So what did these practices actually involve? He did this for 6 years, right? That's quite a commitment.
6 years, yeah. And the practices were incredibly harsh, dangerous even.
Yeah, like what specifically?
Well, the accounts mention near starvation, reducing his food intake to almost nothing.
Like literally a grain of rice a day, wasn't it? Or a single seed.
Something like that, yes. Unbelievably little. You can just imagine the effect on his body.
Utterly emaciated, the texts say, like a dried up stick.
Yeah, skeletal. He also practiced extreme breath holding, forcing himself to hold his breath for long periods.
That sounds agonizing.
It's described as causing immense pain, yeah. And then there was exposure.
To the elements.
Right. Meditating out in the open, through scorching heat, biting cold, no shelter, just enduring it.
And didn't he sleep on thorns? Things like that.
Yes, sleeping on beds of thorns, even eating things like, filth. Practices designed to completely shatter any attachment to comfort or cleanliness.
Wow.
And meditating in cremation grounds to confront death and decay head on.
The descriptions of his physical state, they're pretty harrowing.
Yeah.
Collapsing from weakness, bones sticking out, skin like paper.
It paints a picture of incredible willpower, for sure, but also maybe futility. You start to wonder, where is this leading?
Which brings us to the turning point. Because after 6 years of this unimaginable suffering, he wasn't there. He hadn't reached liberation.
Exactly. All that effort, all that pain, and it ultimately failed.
So what was the big realization? Why did it fail?
This is where it gets really interesting. He didn't just realize it wasn't working. He understood why. He saw that this extreme path hadn't brought him enlightenment. It had just brought him, closer to death.
It didn't bring mental clarity.
Quite the opposite. It exhausted his body so much that his mind became clouded, weak. He was too debilitated to even meditate effectively.
So the intense physical suffering led to confusion, not insight.
Precisely. And this was the crucial insight. The body isn't the enemy you need to torture into submission. It's the vehicle.
The vehicle for the journey.
Right. And if you destroy the vehicle, the journey stops. You can't get anywhere.
So that whole agonizing period was necessary in a way to prove that this extreme wasn't the answer.
Absolutely essential. He had to test that limit, push that boundary, to understand its futility, to discard that path based on direct experience.
Okay, so he's reached this point, utterly worn out, realizing this 6-year ordeal was a dead end. What happens? How does he pivot?
It's actually a very simple, quiet moment described in the texts. A village woman named Sujata sees him.
Right, Sujata. And she offers him food.
Yes, a bowl of milk rice. Just simple nourishment.
But symbolically huge.
Absolute massive. Accepting that bowl of rice was a conscious act. It was him turning away from extreme denial.
Acknowledging the body's basic needs.
Exactly. Accepting that the body needs sustenance to function, to even think clearly. It's the first glimmer of balance, of the middle way to come.
And his companions? The other 5 ascetics he was with? They didn't take it well, did they?
No, they were horrified. They saw him taking this nourishment like he was giving up weakness.
Abandoning the true path, as they saw.
Right. And they left him, just walked away.
Wow. So he's completely alone at this point.
Which really highlights his independence, doesn't it? His courage to follow his own experience, his own realization, even when it meant losing his peers.
Yeah, that's a powerful moment.
And that whole arc, from the extreme luxury of his early life in the palace through this brutal period of self-torture, it all feeds directly into his big insight.
The middle way.
The middle way. He lived both extremes, sensual indulgence, extreme deprivation, and he realized neither one led to liberation.
So if the extremes don't work, what does? What actually is the middle way then?
It's essentially a path of moderation. It avoids both chasing pleasure and inflicting pain.
Balance.
Balance, yes. Moderation. Diligently cultivating wisdom, mindfulness, concentration, but doing it in a way that doesn't destroy the body.
That's the revolutionary part, isn't it? Seeing the body not as the enemy, but as a necessary
partner, a tool, yes. Something that needs care, needs to be reasonably healthy to support the mind's effort.
You need a functional body for a functional mind, basically.
That's the core idea. A balanced physical state supports a clear, focused mind, the kind you need for deep insight and eventual enlightenment.
And it's telling that he actually achieved enlightenment after this whole ordeal, right? After he'd regained his strength.
Exactly. Under the Bodhi tree, after accepting nourishment, after finding that balance, his own life story becomes the proof of the middle way's effectiveness.
So looking back, that intense period of asceticism, it wasn't just about willpower. It was the furnace where the middle way was forged.
Absolutely. A testament to his determination, yes. But more importantly, the crucial negative result that pointed towards the real solution.
Maybe there's a lesson there for you listening. That real wisdom doesn't always come from just finding the right path immediately.
Sometimes it comes from rigorously exploring what doesn't work. Understanding those limits, those dead ends, is what helps you find your own balance.
So as you think about this deep dive, maybe consider this. How might the insights from Siddhartha exploring the limits of extremes apply in your own life, whether that's in discipline or work or how you pursue goals? Where might finding your balance be key?